I still taste it. Even now when I breathe, when I blink, when I stretch the muscles that shouldn't have healed yet, I taste the maw's flesh in the back of my throat. It never leaves. It clings to me like smoke, rotted leather and burnt meat soaked in bile. It's part of me now, under the skin, between the ribs, behind the eyes. I didn't just eat it. I absorbed it, and it's doing something to me. 2 nights ago, I should have died. My lungs had collapsed. My spine was cracked. My own claws had bent backwards from striking bone too dense to pierce. I was bleeding from places that don't bleed unless you're already finished. But I lived, and now I can see too much. I see in color in the dark, real color, not just the outlines and heat signatures like before. I see the tiny quivers in the trees when animals move, even if they're miles away. I see trails left behind by footsteps that vanished hours earlier. I can hear every insect walking on bark, every heartbeat within a mile, and worst of all, I can hear mine. It's slower than it should be, louder, heavier. Each beat sends a ripple through my bones, like something else is keeping me alive. Like it's not really blood-pushing anymore. Sometimes I stop breathing without realizing it. Sometimes I wake up already moving, hunting, not always where I meant to be, not always in control. The healing's changed, too. Faster, meaner, but hungrier. I felt a wound on my thigh close over the course of an hour yesterday, flesh knitting without my help. But the next morning, I couldn't move until I tore open a raccoon and swallowed its liver raw. The hunger doesn't come in waves now. It just is. It's constant. And it's not just in my gut. It's in my thoughts. I no longer feel like I'm watching my prey. I feel like something is watching through me. I thought I was the apex here. But now the trees avoid me. I walked past a birch yesterday, and its trunk bent away from me as if pushed by wind. Only there was no wind. The squirrels are gone. The birds don't just stay silent. They've left. Even the flies won't land on me. One tried. It landed on my arm, twitched, and then died in place, curled into itself. The forest isn't mine anymore. It's not even scared of me. It's scared of what I've become. There's something else now, too. Something new in the territory. 2 somethings, maybe more. I haven't seen them clearly, but I feel them. They don't hide. They stalk. Brazen, clumsy, but confident. They're not intruding on my land. They're answering a call. The same call that led me to the maw's corpse. The same call that made me eat it. That same deep, echoing pulse beneath the forest floor, like a second heartbeat under mine. Something ancient woke up the moment I consumed that thing's flesh. And now it's summoning more. I pissed on a tree 3 nights ago, an old pine I've marked dozens of times before. It always greeted me, always leaned slightly toward my scent. The next morning, it was split open. Black rot poured from the center. The branches had curled into fists. Dozens of dead birds were nailed to the bark by thorns that hadn't been there the day before. The tree was screaming without making a sound. I haven't marked anything since. I don't know if I'm dying or evolving, but something is coming. And it's not coming to hunt. It's coming to test, to see what crawled out of the maw's corpse, to see if I deserve to live. The first one came in on the 3rd night. No sound, no scent, no vibration, nothing. One moment, the woods were empty. The next. I knew I wasn't alone. I didn't hear it. I heard what it took. Sound. Everything went quiet, too quiet, like the forest had been vacuumed clean. Even my breath sounded muted. My heartbeat, barely audible. That's how I knew something was near. That's when I smelled the moss bleeding. I climbed into the canopy and waited. It passed beneath me. Slow, deliberate steps that didn't disturb a single leaf. I couldn't see its face, only height, shape, long and thin like a corpse left out too long. Its spine bent at the middle. Its arms trailed behind it, fingers scraping tree trunks as it moved, and its eyes, if that's what they were, glowed dull and wet like candle wax under ice. It didn't speak, didn't hunt, just walked. Each step stole more sound from the woods. Each branch it passed stopped swaying. The Hollow-Eyed. That's what it was. A signal. A judge. I didn't follow it right away. I just watched. The next night, the second one arrived. I felt it before I saw it. A pressure in the ground. A vibration like something massive crawling up from under the soil. Then, screaming. Not from prey. From it. Its own voice tore through the forest like a blade made of static. A howl so sharp it cracked bark and made my claws twitch involuntarily. The Clatterjaw. I'd never seen anything move like it. It didn't run. It lunged, twisted, crawled sideways on too many limbs. 4 arms, 2 jaws, one vertical across its chest, lined with teeth that clicked like bones breaking. It tore apart a black bear for fun, bit through its spine mid-roar, and laughed through a throat full of fur. It didn't feed. It danced in blood. It screamed when it bled. And when it screamed, everything else bled too. I thought they wouldn't find each other, but I was wrong. Last night, the Hollow-Eyed stopped at the old fire ring near the mountain split. The one with runes carved in a spiral that never ends. A place I've only passed once and only in daylight. It just stood there, staring into the stone. And then the forest screamed again. Clatterjaw came crashing through the opposite ridge, howling, bounding, jaws flaring. They locked eyes, and neither moved. Not at first. 2 apexes, 2 ancient things, drawn to the same beat, the same call, the same hunger. The Hollow-Eyed tilted its head. The Clatterjaw flexed its limbs. No one pounced, no one backed down. They weren't allies. They weren't curious. They were calculating. And I watched from above. Heart slow, breath shallow. I could have fled, should have. But something pulled me toward them, toward the clearing they were both circling now. A flat stone basin older than the forest itself. Bones buried deep beneath it, etched in symbols I don't recognize, but feel in my blood. We're all being drawn there. Not by choice, by design. I don't want to fight. Not both. Not yet. But I can already feel the maw burning inside me. And it's not scared. It's excited. It wants this. The clearing smelled like bone. Not rot, not blood. Just bone. Old, cracked, sun-dried, and burned. I didn't want to be here. Every instinct screamed at me to turn back. But whatever the maw left inside me, it overruled instinct. It didn't just want to be here. It felt home. The stone underfoot pulsed, very faint, like something buried far below was breathing. I stepped to the center of the clearing, waited. I wasn't alone for long. The Hollow-Eyed arrived first. It didn't walk into the clearing. It was just there. No sound, no movement. One blink, and it was 5 feet away. Its skin was dry and veined like bark soaked in ash. Its arms hung like ropes. Its face, barely visible, was stretched taut, with the skin pulled over the sockets, like wax cloth. It smelled like the inside of a tomb. It tilted its head, and the silence deepened. I couldn't hear the wind anymore, couldn't hear myself breathe. Even the forest stopped creaking. And then, the ground shook. A scream shattered the stillness. Clatterjaw came barreling through the trees, tearing branches, shattering trunks, its limbs twitching with rabid power. It landed in the center of the clearing with a crack, claws sinking into stone. Its bottom jaw unhinged sideways, its chest jaw opened vertically with a shriek. It didn't wait. It leapt for the Hollow-Eyed. The Hollow-Eyed vanished, just blinked away, and reappeared behind Clatterjaw, its long arms slashing outward. They caught nothing. Clatterjaw was already turning, swinging one massive claw in an arc that split the air. It clipped the Hollow-Eyed. Thin gray blood sprayed. No scream, just stillness. Clatterjaw roared in satisfaction. Then I was on it. I didn't plan it. I didn't think. I moved. I tackled it from behind, slamming us both into the stone. My claws raked across its armored back, scraping sparks, carving shallow lines. It twisted, too strong, threw me into the air. I hit the ground hard, rolled, came up ready. Clatterjaw launched forward, jaw wide, limbs stretched. I ducked low and slashed across its underbelly. Black fluid spilled, smoking where it hit the stone. It screamed in my face, point blank, and I staggered. My ears bled, my legs buckled, and then silence again. The Hollow-Eyed moved between us. It crouched, then surged forward, impossibly fast, its limbs unfolding like blades. One arm raked across Clatterjaw's side, tearing through bone armor. Another snapped toward me. I dodged barely. Its claws clipped my shoulder. Skin split. No blood. The wound began to close instantly. I felt the healing burn. I felt myself burn. Something inside me was waking up. Something that liked this. Clatterjaw howled and launched at us both. We scattered. The fight dissolved into chaos. Every movement was a collision. Every breath, a weapon. I slashed the Hollow-Eyed across its throat. It didn't bleed. I clawed Clatterjaw's leg. He buckled, shrieked, swung back, caught my side, and sent me skidding across stone. I rolled, flipped, came back up. But the Hollow-Eyed was already there. It grubbed my skull. Its fingers wrapped around my head. And suddenly, I saw something. Flashes, visions, the maw's insides, a city buried in roots, a screaming void where language didn't work. I shrieked and bit its wrist. Its arm cracked, not bone, wood. It flinched. I pressed forward. Clatterjaw hit us both like a wrecking ball. All three of us tumbled. A storm of limbs, claws, blood, jaws, smoke, silence, fire, and fury. The fight lasted hours. I lost count of the times I should have died. My arm broke twice. My eye tore open. I bit through my own tongue just to stay conscious. But I didn't stop. None of us did. Not until the Hollow-Eyed slashed Clatterjaw across his chest jaw so deep, it split him to the spine. Not until I leapt onto the Hollow-Eyed mid-spin and tore open its throat with a scream of my own. It gurgled, shivered, and vanished. Just gone. No body, no blood, only silence. Clatterjaw twitched, gurgling black foam. I stood over him, barely able to see, barely able to stand. My claws dripped something I didn't recognize. I didn't care. I reached down and fed.